بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today we are going to also continue the Manasik al-Hajj. We were discussing the topic of wasiyah. And you now know the difference between wasiyya and wikala. So wasiyya, wikala ends with the decease of the muwakkil, the designator or the delegator, and wasiyya starts with the death of the delegator. So, but the idea is same, to delegate someone to do something on behalf of a person. So we were discussing the ruling number 73. من كانت عليه حجة الإسلام وقرب منه الموت فإن كان له مال يفي بمصارف الحج لازمه الاستفتاء. So whoever was obligated to perform حجة الإسلام, من كان عليه, that means there was an obligation upon him to perform حجة الإسلام, and the death was close. So remember, even in the sickness, if somebody was sick and all the conditions were available, he needs to appoint a representative. But now the problem is that he is able to, but health-wise not able to. More than that, the doctors have told him that it's just not you're sick, you're going to die also. So you don't have enough days left. بعد الشر على المؤمنين والمؤمنات. فإن كان له مال يفي بمصارف الحج لازمه الاستيثاق. If he has enough wealth that could cover the expenses of Hajj, then he has to make a kind of agreement, mithaq, covenant, agreement. And we said agreement is more general than making a wikala or wasiyya or just asking somebody, making an official contract, not necessarily religious contract. You bring the attorney, you bring the guy, you say, and tell them, see, you're responsible to do Hajj on my behalf. Maybe now as a wakala, because I'm living, and if I die, wisaya. So ithaq is agreement is more general than the wikala and wisaya. So he's sick, he cannot travel now. He might not die. So wasiyah will not be executed before death. So istithaq, mithaq, making an agreement is more general, which is inclusive to wikala and wasiyah. So please go and do Hajj on my behalf. So what happens if he dies and during this time, then it automatically will become inclusive to the wasiyah. So now it is wikala, then wasiyah. So it is making an agreement, making a contract. من أدائها عنه بعد مماته. So he can offer it after his death. But what if he does not die? So istithaq is inclusive to wikala. ولو بالوصية بها, even by making a will. So see, istithaq is inclusive to will, making an agreement. Walau, so he mentions a wasiyah as an example of istithaq, making a covenant, making an agreement, making a contract. Okay, so even though by making wasiyah, that means wasiyah is one of the examples and manifestations of. So there might be many other ways he can make a contract, even by, for example, wasiyah biha, make a wasiyah that please fulan wal istishhad alayha, testimony, because many times people, they don't fulfill the wasiyah. Oh no, do you have witnesses? Because some heirs, they are stingy many times and miser, and they want to take all the money of their father. So if the Hajj is proven, like $10,000 will be short in the amount which they are going to get from their father's wealth. So therefore, wasiyah is important. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ مَالٍ. Okay, if he did not have wealth. وَاحْتَمَلَ أَنْ يَتَبَرَّعْ شَخْص بِالْحَجِّ. And there was a probability that someone could voluntarily do Hajj on his behalf, freely, مَجَّانًا, without anything. وَجَبَتْ عَلَيْهِ الْوَصِيَّةِ أيضًا. So it will become obligatory to make wasiyah to this person, a volunteer person or someone who is willing to do voluntarily. So this is if the Hajj became wajib and he was not able to go, then he needs to do wasiyah. But what if the Hajj was istaqarra alayh, like previously, he was supposed to go for Hajj, he was able to, he did not go. وَأَمَّا وَإِذَا مَاتَ مَنْ اسْتَقَرَّتْ عَلَيْهِ حِجَّةُ الْإِسْلَامِ وَجَبَ قَضَاؤُهَا مِنْ أَصْلِ التَّرِكَةِ. So if somebody had the Hajj on his shoulder, he was not able to perform it, he has to perform it anyways. So what if he dies? So it will be necessary to do qada. Now here, the ulamas, they have argument. Qada from the principal wealth or from the 1/3? What is this meaning of 1/3? I'll let you know. Whatever a Muslim owns, when he dies, ba'd ash-shar' alaykum, by God, God forbid, to our beloved ones. So when that person dies, all his ownership goes away from his wealth. Quran takes over, except for 1/3. So that means if a person dies, 2/3 of the money, Quran distributes. 1/3 of the money, he can make a wasiyah. So whatever he did wasiyah, I want to paint the Husainiyah, I want to give to my elder son, I want to give my daughter, she's going to get a half, I want to give this, I want to give that, I want to give this my friend who has been taking care of me all my life, and this and that. So he wants to designate an amount for these people. He did not mention how much. He dies. He said, entire amount, my entire wealth, give it to my friend. My kids were not there for me. My wife was not there for me. I was in sickness. I was in disease. I was in problem. I was facing issues. This guy was there all the time for me. So I want to give all my wealth to him. He did the wasiyah. After he dies, the wasiyah was open. The wife is shocked. Oh my goodness. All these millions of dollars will go to him. The sons, daughters, oh my goodness. Oh, what will happen now? No. Hold on your horses. Okay, your dad, rahmatullah alayh, made this wasiyah. But once a person dies, his right is only on 1/3. Finish, period. More than 1/3? No, it is not mayyat. It is the heirs. Quran has made the distribution to the heirs. So the wife will get some share, the children will get some share, the father of the deceased will get some share, the mother of the deceased will get some. What about that one guy who the mayyat made wasiyah? We will give him only 1/3 of that, whatever he has left. You got this? So only 1/3 will be for mayyat, even if he made wasiyah on the entire wealth. No. Yours, Quran takes over. Allah takes over 2/3. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala distribute in Surah An-Nisa. You will find a lot of ayat. The whole distribution system, the chart of distribution is there in Surah An-Nisa. You don't have the right to do wasiyah on more than 1/3. 1/3 is yours. You want to give Imam Barga, you want to give your precious daughter, your precious son, that precious friend, whomsoever you want to give, whatever you want to do, mustahabbat, recommendations you want to do, Hajj, Umrah, mustahab, ziyarat, all this is from 1/3. And when the 1/3 is not enough for that, we will see the priorities and the best of the best where the mayyat can get the reward. Okay. So now here in this ruling, the argument is this Hajj money comes out from the 1/3 or from the principal before distributing the wealth. When I say principal, aslit tarika, that means the once the mayyat dies, we have this $100,000. Okay, not after distributing and then 1/3 and then the 2/3 for the heirs. No, before distributing the thirds, you take out the Hajj money from the asl, or should we take out from the wasiyah? Since it is wajib, we'll have to take out from the asl. the obligations, the obligatories. There are some details. We are going to discuss this in future in the chapter of wasiyah. But in this, for the Hajj, so he says, وَجَبَ قَضَاؤُهَا مِنْ أَصْلِ تَرِكَتِهِ, from the principle of the assets he has left. وَإِنْ لَمْ يُوصِ بِذَلِكَ, even if he did not make a wasiyah, everybody knows our father had wealth, he was able to do Hajj, and the Hajj was on his head, activated, he did not do Hajj. So that is one part of the masala. Good. The Hajj was on him, he did not make wasiyah. What if he did make wasiyah? Please, I did not make Hajj, perform Hajj on my behalf. Send somebody to do Hajj on my behalf with my wealth. He did not say from my 1/3 or from the 2/3. He just said from my wealth. Again, in this case, also say the Sistani Damadullah says, وَكَذَلِكَ إِنْ أَوْصَى بِهَا. Similar ruling is, that means we will take the out from the principal wealth. If he did the wasiyah, وَلَمْ يُقَيِّدْهَا بِالثُّلْثِ, and he did not restrict the Hajj expenses to be spent or taken away from the 1/3. He did not say. Khalas, he did not say from the entire wealth. Good. Number one, he did not make wasiyah from the principal. Number two, he made wasiyah but did not define or did not verify 1/3 from the principal. So these are the two segments from the principal. Let's check the third segment. وَإِنْ قَيَّدَهَا بِالثُّلْثِ. Now, no, in the wasiyah said, do my Hajj from the 1/3. Do my Hajj from what? From 1/3, from my 1/3. Okay, why do the Mayyat do wasiyah like that? He doesn't want the heirs, because if there's no wasiyah, let's say he has 2 sons and 1 daughter and they're going to get money. $10,000 will be deducted from that, whatever amount is there. So the money will come less for their children. So what he does, did wasiyah 1/3. Let me just put my Hajj in 1/3 and not to reduce the amount from my precious sons and daughters. That's why, because many times there's no need. I mean, khalas, let the Hajj be taken out from the principal. He said, no. I don't want to squeeze on the money they will get. Let the Quran give them whatever they have the right for it. And my Hajj, I have the right of 1/3. Instead of paying in Hussainiyah and this and that, I let them do Hajj from my wealth. In this case, say the Sistani says, وَجَبَ إِخْرَاجُهَا مِنْهُ وَإِنْ قَيَّدَهَا بِالثُّلْثِ. And if he had restricted the amount with 1/3, فَإِنْ وَفَّ الثُّلْثِ بِهَا. So if the 1/3 was covering the expenses of Hajj, let's say our example, 10,000, 1/3 was 10,000. Khalas, then that 10,000 will be spent. He did wasiyah, Hussainiyah, spend on education, spend on houses, spend on this, spend on that, spend on poor charity, and do my Hajj, obligatory Hajj. We'll say, okay, let's see, does it cover all these things? No, it was only 10,000, and Hajj is 10,000. Khalas, then we'll only use it for the Hajj. Okay, that's it. What will happen? The heirs will be happy. Thank you, Dad. You did not squeeze on whatever we were going to get. Okay, so that their 2/3 were not deducted. But there's a fourth scenario. How? Okay. وجب إخراج منه وقد تقدم في على سائر وتقدم على سائر الوصايا. So the Hajj will prevail all the other things which he had made in his will, like zakat or whatever, mustahabbat, ziyarat, whatever. He said Hajj will take the top priority. So the Hajj will be prioritized over whatever he has made will for his 1/3. So that was the third scenario. The fourth scenario, he did wasiyah, but the amount was not enough. He said, do my Hajj from 1/3. 1/3 was about like $7,000 or 6,000. 1/3 is not enough. So we will compensate from the principal. So we will take the deficit from the principal. So we will use the $6,000 for Hajj. $4,000 we will take it from the 2/3 from the principal amount. We'll complete it 10,000 as our example is, and we'll do the Hajj. And it will squeeze on the money of the heirs. وَإِن لَمْ يَفِ الثُّلْث بِهَا, if the 1/3 was not sufficient to cover the expenses of Hajj, لَزِمَ تَتْمِيمُهُ مِنَ الْأَصْلِ, then it will be necessary to complete it, top up the deficit from the principal amount. Good. Ruling number 74. Man mata wa alayhi hajjatul Islam. Whoever dies and he has Hajj obligated upon him. This year, it's not mustaqar. This year, he was supposed to go for Hajj. He was supposed to appoint a representative. He was sick. He was not able to appoint a representative. Okay. He was not able to go for Hajj. So the Hajj had already become activated upon him. وَكَانَ لَهُ عِنْدَ شَخْصٍ وَدِيعًا. Okay. Let's say this guy gave me an amount, $20,000. And he gave me $20,000 amanat. He told me, please keep this with you. Okay. And then, let's say his wife started fighting with him. Where are the $20,000? And in that shock and awe condition kind of thing, the fight and screams, he got heart attack and he died. Poor guy. So now his Hajj was not done. So what will happen here? There are two directions. One direction says, I have his money, so I will go and make sure that his Hajj is done, either by myself, either by hiring somebody, giving them 10,000, finish. The rest, I will give it to the heirs. This is the money. Your dad had given me amanat. Your dad had wajib Hajj. So I did the Hajj, and this is the 10,000 remaining, which is added to the principal of your dad's money. Okay? Maybe because the heirs would not go and do the Hajj. If they shouted and screaming on this poor dad and he died out of heart attack, what will they do after the death? They just bury him and they finish, got rid of him. There are some children we have seen like that. I have seen with their own eyes. What a severe punishment these people will have for being rude to their parents. Severe punishment. They don't know what they're looking at on the day of. No, but my dad was bad. It's fine. But he was your dad. My mom was like this. She was your mom. Quran says, if they pressure you to make partners with Allah, do not obey them, but do not be rude to them. As less as off. Oh. So imagine people being rude to their parents, which I've seen with their eyes, okay, just to please their wives or just to please certain things. So anyhow, so I come and give the heirs, my sons, my daughters, your dad, rahmatullah alayh, he had kept amanat with me, and then he had Hajj wajib, so I fulfilled his wajib Hajj, and this is the remaining money. They might accuse me, you ate it, why did you do Hajj? Why didn't you give it to us? So they may be like that. They may be fierce. So here, fuqaha, man mata wa alayhi hajjatul Islam, whoever dies and he was obligated to perform the Hajj of wajib, the first Hajj, hajjatul Islam, wa kana lahu inda shakhsin wadi'a, and he had placed a trust amount, excuse me, of wealth to someone, to a person, shakhs. Here we have two opinions. The majority of certain scholars, they said, قال جمع من الفقهاء رضوان الله عليهم. Certain group of jurists, they said, may Allah be pleased upon them, may Allah's pleasure be upon them. إن الوداعي إذا احتمل أن الورث لا يؤدونها إن رد المال إليهم جاز له. If the one who has the trust in his hand for the deceased, if he has a probability that the heirs will not fulfill the trust of their father or the deceased, then it will be permissible for him. جازله. بل وجب عليه. More than that, it will be obligated upon that person, the one who has the trust, أن يحج بها, to perform the Hajj with that trust, with that wealth. عنه بنفسه أو باستئجار غيره لذلك. You perform the Hajj, so he can perform the Hajj by himself, or by hiring someone, or any other options to make sure that the deceased one's Hajj was fulfilled. فإذا زاد المال عن أجرة الحج. Therefore, if the wealth exceeds from the expenses of the Hajj, رد الزائد إلى الورثة. He will return, he has to return the remaining to the heirs. This is the opinion of who? The scholars. Some group of scholars, Jam'un min al-fuqahas, jurists. But say this Sistani says, I have a little problem here. ولكن هذا الحكم. However, this ruling لا يخلو عن إشكال. It is not free from being problematic. But there's a problem in this issue. What is the problem, Sayyidina? Because who is the guardian of the deceased person after the death? The heirs, okay, the inheritors, and the wasi, who's supposed to fulfill the will of the deceased. So there's this wasi, will, and there is this heir, someone designated, organized, a scholar, and has been given an authority by the mayyat, wasiyya, or istithaq. So those are the ones who have the right to use the money of the deceased to dispose it according to the Islamic direction and the will of the mayyat. So this guy who had the trust, was he designated by the deceased? No. Was he his wakil? No. Was he wasi? No. Was there any istithaq? No. Is he one of the heirs? No. Then he doesn't have the right to use the money of the deceased. He has to bring it back to the inheritors, the heirs. So here, previous ulamas, they said, no, the benefit of the mayyat, it's mayyat's money. Yes, but after he dies, it is not his money anymore, except for the thulth, 1/3. And did he make a wasiyah on 1/3? No. And if he did not make a wasiyah, then it is taken from the principal wealth. But he is not authorized to use the principal wealth. So that is the problem of Sayyidi Sistani Damullah. So he says, whenever there is obligatory precaution, there's a rule of thumb in the rules of inheritance. So what is the precautionary measure here? To take a way out, to consult the designated people, to consult the heir, to consult the one who was designated to do Hajj on his behalf, to consult someone who has the right to use the money for the Hajj after the death, not that person who had the trust only. So that's the problem of Sayyidi Sistani in this ruling. So what should we do, Sayyidina? Consult the heirs. Tell them this is the amanat. Okay, your father had Hajj, and do you give me permission? No, we will do. Just give us the money, we will do. We'll take care of it. Let's give them. You can't use it. Or you can, this ishkal means obligatory precaution. You can refer to a marja, a'lam fal-a'lam, after Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah. He is one of those jurists who considers that okay, because the money is the money of the mayyat, okay, and the guy has a trust, and the money is, mayyat is deceased, is required of something in front of Allah, then let him use and finish his wajib. So in two ways, consulting the heirs, whatever the heirs say, then it has to be taken into consideration, or consulting the wasi, the one was designated to do hajj, okay, or even general fulfilling the wajibat, or the scholar or the religious authority, marja, or refer to some other marja who who will give him the permission to go and do hajj on the behalf of the deceased. Okay, so this is the ishkal of Sayyidi Sistani Damullah. So there are there are two issues here. It's not the right of that person. The right of it was to secure the trust and to give it back. So the obligation of a trustee is to keep the trust. Whenever is required, is given back. So the mayyit is dead, so it needs to go back to the heirs. So now he's not authorized to use that wealth. Shar'an is not authorized. So that's a serious ishkal coming here on the authorization. Some maraja, they might give general authority. Okay, no, this is for the benefit of the mayyit, maslahatul mayyit is the mayyit's wealth, even here or there. Initially, the initial thing is the principal wealth needs to be spent to perform the hajj. And this, if it goes to the heirs, it will be considered part of the principal wealth. So there's no problem. So some scholars, they say there's no problem. Some scholars, they say there is a serious problem in there. Ruling number 75. Man mata wa alayhi hajjatul Islam. If a person dies and he has the first obligatory hajj on his shoulder, wa kana alayhi khums aw zakat, faqasurat at-tarika. Okay, so now he has to pay khums, he has to pay zakat, and he has to pay hajj. But the wealth, the assets are not enough to cover all these three things. فَقَصُرَتِ التَّرِكَ. The assets were short. The wealth left by the deceased was short, could not cover all these. So now Sayyidi Sistani says, okay, perfect. So there are two scenarios. If the khums and the zakat, the item of the khums and zakat is existing, like I have that $1,000 which I need to pay $2,000 $200 from it, khums, or I have those goats or barley or wheat or raisins or dates, I have to pay 2/3 out of it. There's some detailed rules as well there, I'm just giving you. Or those golden and silver coins which are used in market to purchase, buy and sell. So 2/3 out of it. So the item is available. I can take zakat out. The $1,000 bill is available. I can take $200 out. The ain, the item, the physical item or the ain itself is available, which the khums is on it. Then take out the khums, take out the zakat, and the hajj will later on, if whatever remains, perform the hajj from the wealth. Okay, so that is one. If the item is there, khums zakat precedes. If the item was not there, there was $1,000 bill, I used it. Oh my goodness, there was khums on it. So now the khums has gone on my shoulder. It's not there. It's in my responsibility. That's called kulli fi dhimma. Dhimma. You will see a lot of places, dhimma, 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 kulli fi dhimma. That means something which is in my shoulder. In general, my wealth, there's an area where I have to pay the khums. Okay, but the specific thing is gone. Or zakat, I had barleys, okay, and I was supposed to pay zakat of that. I had kept it in my kitchen, and my wife thought, oh, my husband, mashallah, he brought lots of barley. Let's make barley cookies and barley things, and the whole kitchen was a kitchen of barleys. A lot of barley, not like 1 kilo, like 2.5 of 700, let's say about 700 kilograms of barley. 2.5 of it is how much? Okay, so for 100, 2.5 is like 25 kgs, 25 multiplied by 7, 25, 25, 4, like 200 k, no, 20 kgs, about 20. I'm giving you rough, okay? 20 kgs, it's 788 kilograms of barley. If you have this harvest, if you harvest from an agricultural product, you have to pay. And then there are some conditions also. Did you use the regular water? Was it rainwater? And all those kind of details are explained in the chapter of zakat. So I'm taking just a basic example. So about 20 kgs of barley in the house. The wife was happy, mashallah, my husband never brings, and she cooked. The husband comes home, and it's not the cookies are available, and she's a generous wife, and she was in the arba'een. So she took the plate and she was distributing to the Zuwar of Imam Hussein. Everybody is eating this barley of zakat. Okay. And barley biscuits, I mean, not barley, they're not goats. They're barley biscuits, you know. So she made it with her heart and sugar and honey and this. She made barley, the digestive cookies type of thing. The best qualities, because she wants to serve the Zuwar of Imam Hussein. The husband comes, where's the barley? I just went to ziyarat of Imam Hussein, the zakat barley, you didn't tell me. I thought you brought for the Zuwar. Khalas, it's gone now. So the item is not available. So what happened? The Zuwar did not eat haram. The zakat has gone on his dhimma, kulli. It's become a credit on his shoulder. So he has to pay this debt from his shoulder. So you got these two scenarios. First scenario is where the item is available. Then pay the zakat and khums. If there's something remaining, go for Hajj. The second scenario, no, it's gone. So it's on your shoulder. So pay Hajj before, and then that's going to remain debt on your shoulder, pay off, or your heirs, they need to pay off as they from the inheritance. So if this is clear, let's read this mas'ala and finish today's session. Man mata wa alayhi hajjatul Islam, whoever dies and he had this first obligatory Hajj upon him, obligated upon him, wa kana alayhi khumsun aw zakat, and there was also obligation of khums on him and zakat on him. He had to pay. فَقَصُرَتِ التَّرِكَةِ, the inheritance became short. I mean, the assets became short. Okay, the assets were short. The wealth left by the deceased was short. It would not cover all these three things. فَإِنْ كَانَ الْمَالُ الْمُتَعَلَّقْ بِهِ الْخُمْسِ أو الزَّكَاةِ مَوْجُودًا بِعَيْنِهِ, the item, the specific is the exact physical thing is available, be it the money of the khums or the items of zakat, lazimahu taqdeemuhuma. That means it will become obligatory to give priority to zakat and khums. So zakat and khums will be prioritized. Okay, that the hukum of zakat being prevailed is going to be prioritized. Give this first. وَإِنْ كَانَ فِي الذِّمَّةِ, if it got into dhimma, in your shoulder, it became a credit or a debt on your shoulder, يَتَقَدَّمُ الْحَجْ عَلَيْهِمَا, debit. يَتَقَدَّمُ الْحَجْ عَلَيْهِمَا. That means the Hajj will prevail. The Hajj will be prioritized. وَإِنْ كَانَ عَلَيْهِ دَيْنٍ, however, if there is loan is a very strict matter. Because khums, Allah's ibadat. Zakat, Allah's ibadat. Hajj, Allah's ibadat. But huquq al-ibad, the rights of people, it's a serious issue. Okay? Hajj, so if he had dayn, well, then فَلَا يُبْعَدْ تَقَدُّمُ الدَّيْنِ عَلَى الْحَاجِ. Then it is not far away. That means strongest opinion to me is, more closer opinion to me is that to prevail, the priority goes to the debt, the loan you have on your shoulder. Pay off your loan, okay? And then if there is money left, you do Hajj. If there's no money left, you don't do Hajj. Okay? So this is the prioritization of the rights. And then, so why say this is then? He says, فَلَا يُبْعَدْ. Some scholars, they consider the debt as zakat and khums. So, and debt is not available. It's gone. It's on the shoulder. So Hajj prevails. because that you use loan money, and it's not the guy wants the money. You don't have the money to pay. Okay. So here what will happen? It is gone on your shoulder. So go Hajj. This is other scholars might say. Say the Sistani says, no, no, no. The debt prevails. Huquq al-ibad, rights of the people. We need, because Allah will forgive you on the day of judgment, but people will not forgive you on the day of judgment. On the Sirat, rights of the ibad are serious. فَلَا يُبْعَدْ وَإِنْ كَانَ عَلَيْهِ دَيْنٍ. If he had debt on his shoulder, فَلَا يُبْعَدْ تَقَدُّمُ الدَّيْنِ عَلَى الْحَاجِ. It's not far away. That means strong, closer opinion. Al-aqrab, not far. That means more closest opinion. That means close opinion, closer opinion, closest. So closest opinion to me is that debt is prevailed. Pay off the debt. If there's something remaining, go for send somebody for Hajj. Nothing remaining, Hajj will then nobody can do anything about the Hajj of the deceased person. Okay, so this is the thing. And debt. One information I'll let you know. Whenever the that's the qard, the loan. If you have taken a loan from someone, okay, not you, let's take Mr. X. Let's kill Mr. X. So let's say Mr. X took loan from me, and he was supposed to pay monthly $100 back to me. So who's taken the loan? Mr. X. And he's supposed to pay to who? Me. How much? $100 per month until 5 years. Mr. X dies, let's say of 100, that means $1,200 per year, 5 years, 5,260. So $6,000, something like that. 1,200, yeah, $6,000. So $6,000. This guy died this year. Might have had a fight with his wife or something like that. Anyhow, so he died this year. So now what will we do? Here, the Maraja, they say loans, they become instant by the death of the deceased. What does that mean? That means the heirs cannot tell me, uncle, we are going to continue $100. Nah, Baba. That's not how Sharia says. But no, my agreement says after 5 years, until 5 years. I said, no, it's up to me. I can continue that. But no, if I choose no, break the contract. Because the contract was with your dad, and your dad was supposed to give me 100 per month. And Sharia says, when a person dies, the loans, the prolonged loans becomes instant. They need to be paid off from the principal wealth of the deceased before distributing to the heirs. You see how much important is to relieve the mayyat from the debt, from the loan, okay, from the huquq al-ibad, rights of the people, then performing the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, ruling number 76 will be our ruling for tomorrow. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.